This is KGW News at noon.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm China Green. Our top story here at noon. Teachers in Oregon's biggest school district are now on strike after months of negotiations for their contract, and there's no telling how long this strike will last. Now, what we do know is that the district and the teachers union are still very far apart on several contract issues. KGW's Thomas Schultz is live outside Roosevelt High School. Thomas, what can we expect for the families during this time?
China, we're absolutely just surrounded by teachers. You can see they're everywhere out here picketing. Hundreds of signs are out here too getting picked up. This rally started, it's going from 12 to 2. Educators began this strike outside at 8 a.m. this morning across the whole district at all 81 schools. Of course, schools closed. This strike will go on until there is a resolution, and with classrooms closed, there's no online instruction either. Portland Public Schools sent Chromebooks home with students for families to pursue self-directed studies. Now, students are able to catch up on late work, though there won't be any new assignments. While school is out, students can pick up breakfast and lunch, though some food pantries located at schools will be temporarily relocated. Student health will be open at several high schools, and some sports will continue. Those include varsity fall and winter sports practices and games, though junior varsity athletics and middle school sports will come to a halt. Throughout negotiations, Portland Public Schools administrators say they can't afford everything the teachers want. That includes smaller class sizes, more prep time, higher wages for teachers. PPS says they've made some concessions in recent bargaining, but as of this morning, teachers say it's not enough.
We offered elementary educators exactly what PAT proposed, 440 minutes of planning time. We offered contract language to ensure healthy and safe schools.
It's really difficult. I have a lot of students who show needs for mental health supports, for extra counseling, for extra special education supports, and it's really hard to get those for them right now.
School is canceled tomorrow. There was not a bargaining session today, so that's probably the reason leading to that cancellation. China?
All right, Thomas, and let's take a look at two of the main sticking points in the bargaining process from both sides here. We're talking about pay and class size. So let's start with the pay. Here's what the union is asking for, and here's what the district is asking for. But over time, when everything is said and done, there will be over $200 million difference between what the union wants and what the district is offering. The union has said they don't believe it's actually a $200 million difference. But let's talk class sizes now. Both sides have acknowledged class size is crucial to student learning. The union wants hard caps. That means once a class is full, a student would not be able to join that class. But the district says that's not possible. Even if it were, it could force a district to hire additional staff. It could also force a student to change schools or miss a graduation requirement. And there's a lot more on the table here. Things like discipline, planning time, additional support staff. Both Portland Public Schools and the Portland Association of Teachers have websites outlining the proposals if you'd like more information on that. And this is a story, of course, we'll continue to follow around the clock until teachers and the district come to terms on a new contract and the strike is over. We'll keep you updated throughout the day today as teachers continue to strike, and you can also find the latest on KGW.com. And the Portland teachers strike comes at a time when attendance is already down in Oregon schools. In fact, the latest number shows that students across the state are missing school at an alarming rate. 38% of all Oregon students were considered chronically absent last year. That is up 2% from the year before. Now, chronically absent means a student misses 10% or more of their classes. The Department of Education says absenteeism contributes to kids failing classes, dropping out of school, and we asked an assistant professor at Portland State to weigh in on these numbers.
It's alarming because we want students to graduate from school, and it has a huge impact on their life outcomes. I think it's alarming for a larger reason, which is that it shows a really lack of trust in our institutions. And education is one of the few institutions that every member of our society, we hope, is interacting with.
To help reverse this trend, schools are trying to incentivize students to show up by offering more clubs and activities. Meanwhile, Kaiser Permanente imaging workers in Washington and Oregon are now on strike. This group includes sonographers, radiation therapists, and imaging assistants, among other things. The union representing the workers say that they are fighting unfair labor practices. They're joining Kaiser pharmacy technicians and clerks who have been striking for a month. Imaging workers at the locations on your screen there will be on the picket line starting at 6 a.m. every day until November 18th. There will be another bargaining session later today. Just this morning, Multnomah County Commissioner Sushila Jayapal announced that she will be resigning effective immediately. She's stepping down to run for Oregon's 3rd congressional district after Congressman Earl Blumenauer decided to retire. Jesse Beeson, who's the president and CEO of the Northwest Health Foundation, will take her seat on an interim basis. The commissioners will soon set an election date to let voters pick a permanent replacement. In her announcement, Jayapal says that it has been an absolute honor and privilege to serve these past 5 years. She says we have worked together through a series of unprecedented crises with a shared mission of moving Multnomah County in a more resilient and equitable direction. All right, turning now to weather. It is the first of the month. What can we expect for the month of November, or at least the first week of November?
How about the next several hours?
Okay.
How's that?
Okay.
I'll zero in. Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, by the way, November 1st, the start of the rainy season. We get the bulk of our precipitation here in the Northwest starting this month through the month of March. Well, we're still looking at this little fetch of moisture getting ready to come in. See where it's kind of a ball of moisture up here? That's the warm front ahead of a cold front. Now, the cold front comes in overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. So we're getting precipitation with the warm surge. Can't really tell it's a warm surge because the clouds are there and the rain's holding the temperature down. But the rain is certainly becoming more widespread. Haven't had a lot in downtown Portland yet, but you can see it's now solid Salem, Tillamook, all the way down into Eugene. So generally speaking, it's going to be raining the remainder of the day. Cannon Beach live for you where it is raining, 54 degrees, not much wind, east at 3. Here's the Moda Center. Again, some areas in downtown Portland haven't really even had the streets wet yet, but that will be changing as rain picks up in the coming minutes, literally. 54 is where we're at. I don't see the temperature changing much for you this afternoon. There's not going to be much wind either. We'll be in the low to mid 50s. This front is followed by another one this weekend, so China, the 7-day is pretty wet. We'll have that for you coming up.
All right, Rod, thank you.
What's this guy involved in?
He's wanted for kidnapping, rape.
That was a moment officers arrested a kidnapping and rape suspect from Oregon in a Walmart parking lot in Reno, Nevada. Now, the body and a dash cam video from July have been heavily redacted. The man police arrested is 29-year-old Nagassi Zuberi. Federal prosecutors say he posed as a police officer and kidnapped a Seattle woman in July. He then drove her 450 miles to his home in Klamath Falls, where investigators say he locked the woman in a cinder block cell in his garage. Zuberi has been charged in a separate rape case in Klamath County. Federal investigators say he also is being investigated in connection to at least 4 other sexual assaults in 4 states. A former City of Gresham Homeless Services specialist now faces criminal charges, including theft, identity theft, and official misconduct. So back in March, the Multnomah County Sheriff opened an investigation into 53-year-old Kevin Dahlgren. He resigned from his position a week later. Police arrested Dahlgren yesterday following a 19-count indictment. They believe he could have more victims. So anyone with information is asked to call the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. The city of Portland will start enforcing its daytime camping ban in less than 2 weeks. People will no longer be allowed to camp on most public property between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Violators could face fines and jail time. The city council passed the ordinance back in June, but didn't force it right away so they could get the word out to all the campers. Now, we don't know yet which neighborhoods police will target, but the mayor wants officers to start in the central city. Meanwhile, we spoke to a man who lives in Lentz in southeast Portland, and he says he is not pleased with the city's plan.
But if you're going to selectively enforce it in certain areas and allow other areas to be what they are, then we're still going to be screwed and the city's not going to improve.
KGW asked Portland Police Chief Bob Day if officers have received specific training to enforce the camping ban, and he declined to comment.